Good evening, ma'am. I am the Asanam student from MSKVM College and a member of our Women's Cell. Today, I'm very happy to interview and learn about your research journey and experience as a woman in your field. What inspired to choose research as your career?
Good morning. Research is something where knowledge never ends. I crave for knowledge, building new things, new knowledge every time. And it's a persistent journey where you go one step at a time, and then four more steps will be visible at that place. So it's something that goes from to infinity, I would say. It never stops. Then, further on, what made me motivated about research in itself is as you age along, your cognitive power will always decline if you're not learning new things. If you're in the research sector, you'll always learn new things. And furthermore, I would say that it's also to um, create something which will have an impact in the society. That actually motivated me to further go on towards the research. And going next to your question, I think you asked me about what is being a woman. How is it in your research field, isn't it? To say that, I will go from the historical perspective. Science has always been dominated with a male factor. Still, till this now, till 21st century as well, it's still dominated to the male section of the society. That chain to break science from, let's say, from Newton's time to Marie Curie's time, it took around 300 years to go to build her career. And if you've seen in a photograph, which is a very viral photograph where most of the Nobel laureates were there, so there was only single Marie Curie there. In I think that photograph was of 1800. Till this generation, yes, there are a lot of females who are now procuring. Now they are into science field, but yet, when I have just read the statistics, right, in maybe 2 3 days back, that if there's a women first author, the chances of acceptance of paper is delayed by 2 or 3 months than when it's a male one. So yes, there are challenges, but I would say that it's not very dark, and we will move forward and make a mark. And also is that until you break barriers, then until you go and then uh, try to make your mark, nothing is going to happen. So everything will not give you, people will not give you things on the platter. You have to fight for it and then show your caliber there. There, it's tougher for females, yes, definitely, but it's not impossible.
Ma'am, what were the biggest challenges as you faced career woman as your academic year?
Could you please repeat it again? As a woman, what is the biggest challenge
Yes, academic.
in academics,
Yes.
you mean to say? Well, as a woman, I would say that fairly my professor is not a misogynist one, not one who believes in patriarchy. So, as a woman, I would not say I faced a lot of problem, definitely. But yes, I have heard of people who have faced problem. Being a woman is like there are things which exist in a society where sexual harassment goes on, and then you're not believed on easily when you throw your ideas, when you said your ideas, then you're not believed on easily. So that goes on. Personally, I have not faced any bias being a women as such, personally, in my perspective. But that credit goes to my professor, who's entirely the one who gives an equal opportunity to his male student and a female student as well. Next, I would like to say that being a woman, and I think to at this age, once you get married, there are a lot of responsibilities that comes forward. So dealing with various responsibilities together during the research journey gets it difficult, and I believe it will be further exacerbated by if you have a kids which will be entirely your responsibility for at least for a few years. So I think that would be a challenge. Well, that is in the coming years for me. um, As of now, I would say that women faces challenge regarding being women faces challenge regarding being the one who looks after the domestic or chores, education as well, and I have been fortunate enough not to have that.
How did you overcome difficulties and stay motivated during tough stage?
Well, so this goes where, say, research journey, or let's say a PhD journey in itself is a tough task, stressful time, because there are a lot of shoes that you have to get in. You have to produce data, you have to think of concepts, you have to write papers, and then sometimes the papers does not get accepted. Its journey is difficult in itself, but you have to keep going it. I would say that if you stop it, if you give up, then nothing will work. So you just have to calm yourself that that things will work out good. That's how I do it. And sometimes I think you always need to take your senior advices as well, so you go talk to people about that. And these days we have heard that among mental health is in a crisis with the researchers, basically with a PhD student. It's a crisis, so I think you have to go to a counselor, and then you have to keep yourself motivated. And then also I also believe that being a researcher, you need to also read things out of your domain to clear your brain. So I do that. Like I totally read things out of my domain. Like I use about economic I read about economics, I read about politics. So to get the brain space empty, or to divert your brain from thinking about your losses, your failures. So I do it that way. I deal it that way, and then I talk with my seniors. And then when the similar kind of stories shared in, so it keeps you motivated to, okay, it's not only with me, with you. The sharing, I think that's the best way to deal with your stresses.
Hi, ma'am.
I
Do you think women face challenges in the research field?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Why not? Um, so first of all, if you've seen the famous cartoon which goes on that a male is running in a race and a female is running in a race. So male can go into a straight path and then end the path, but a female, once he runs to the race, then what happens to her is that there are kids, there are family, there are chores to do. If you see if it's a famous one, right? So it's I hope every one of you has seen that cartoon where when female runs in a race, that why does she gets lagged behind? In terms of that, when you start an education itself, females lag behind because of this. uh, when you're starting your fundamental education as well, I think that female education has not been oriented that way. Like, for example, if you don't understand, since female are reserved in that themselves, like when we don't know anything, we don't ask question. I think you must have we feel judgmental, right? So in that way, I think we don't understand a lot. So everything comes from your high school. So high school, or so inclusivity is not there, I believe. And um, and research field, it's more so because it's more so difficult for females, as I would believe. Uh, Again, when it comes to the cranium capacity, I won't say it's any difficulties. When it comes to a cranium, it's equal with male and equal with female. I think the societal barriers with a female that comes along. For example, I again say to you, the multiple task nowadays. Earlier, female used to just look after the household. Now female has to earn, female has to look after their maternal side, look after the paternal side, look after the kids. So there are multiple responsibilities that has we have now given it to the women. So I think that's the multitasking thing is depriving women for to complete excel her complete potential, I would say.
How can institutions better support and encourage women researchers?
Well, there are various methods that inclusion of women's can be done. So first of all, I would say with girls' education, a lot of scholarships for the girls' education from the marginalized. Let's go from the fundament. Let's go from the school level to university level, and then let's go for the job levels. So in university school levels, I think more education to the women girls, and as well as more support for the girl children when she is reserved, when she was is not able to perform. So actually finding out what's the reason behind when she's not actually able to perform, and why are female reserved. So breaking to having a conversation about the reservedness of the girl children when they are asked questions. So how to break all these chains and then be free for be free for education. More scholarships and more activities, I would say extracurricular activities that has to be added, because extracurricular activities makes you confident, I would say. And further on, when we go to the university level, again scholarships are there. The more scholarships are there, more chances of girl children to continue the education. There are statistics which shows that when it comes to the elementary school or a high school, until high school, girls are higher in number, but as soon as they go to the university level, the numbers are dropping. So that statistics is there in most of the Asian countries. So why are they dropping? So we need to figure it out, the reason why they are dropping it. Why aren't they continuing the education? That comes from the research, and how can we include them into that one? So that should be the case. And when it comes to after when it comes to the workplace, so the biggest challenge for women in the workplace is managing your kid and your workplace. So nowadays people have to leave their kids with somebody, nanny or somebody, and then walk day and night in their office. So if you have a foster care inside your own sorry, not the foster care, I mean to say it's at a day school, inside day school or daycare inside your own workplace, to include the daycare workplace. Or for example, giving a ample month holidays after the delivery to the women. For example, if you see, Germany provides 3 or 2 years of complete holiday to the women after their delivery. So in that way they can get back to their workplace. And as well, I think that also gets into better facilities for females to explore their potential. That should be included.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to the girls who wants to pursue in higher studies or research in research field?
I would say that wherever you are, in whatever level of education you are, understand what you're reading at this moment, the present moment. If you understand 100% what you're reading, so it's very easier for you to go to the next level. But if you have already if you haven't understood 90%, I will not say 100% because it's impossible to get into 100%. So if you have not understood eighth standard completely, then the ninth standard will be a big nightmare for you. So if you are in a graduate student, understand. I'm not saying even by heart everything. So understand everything that you're doing it. And after you go to the research field, it's just a cakewalk. It could be a cakewalk. Research is basically out pointing out there are two types of research. If you say inductive research and a deductive research. So inductive research goes from top-down approach to bottom-down approach to. There are two types: bottom-down approach to top-down approach. We break the theories. Then one is breaking the theories and one is connecting to the theory. So if you know the basic fundamental things, so research will be easier. It will not be a cakewalk. So at the moment, for young girls, I would say, for the young girls, wherever you are, whichever standard you are, whichever position you are, understand 100% your subject craft. Once you understand, you can tweak it, multiply it, create a science, or create a theory. You can do everything by yourself. As I say, the cranium capacity is not limited. It will come into you, but you have to understand what is there at your level.
Ma'am, how do you manage work-life balance along with your professional responsibilities?
Well, what do I do generally is, work life balance is difficult when it comes to your research work. It's quite difficult. What do I do is like, mm right now I have to devote a lot of time for my research work. That's true. But in between, you can take breaks. For example, not a big break, but a week of break, you just quickly run somewhere, go on a vacation. Vacation is a big stress buster, or you forget things at the time. And then how do you do is like, you you have a house help at your place. That's how also that's a big work life balance idea that you do. And read books, a lot of books, I would say. I again to say that apart from your curriculum, you have to read books to why am I saying work life balance and read books? You will feel like it's more work, right? You feel like it would be more work, but work is your professional work, where it demands your professional ideas to throw. But reading books is somewhere which connects to your soul. Once it connects to your soul, if it's your personal life. So read more books. That's how I. And then in a day you set apart a certain hour for your personal growth, like doing exercise, or writing a journal, or doing a meditation, doing a prayers. So you set aside that time and don't deviate it from that time. You've set 7 to 8, I'll do this, you'll do that. In that way it's very easier to balance your work as well as your life.
Hi, ma'am.
I
What skill should develop female students develop during their college years?
You mean to say which college? You mean to say for like PG level or UG level? Because there are different answers to different levels that I would have to say.
PG level.
PG level. So what kind of skills, matlab, you want them for a research skills? You mean to say the research skills? Or who wants to enter into the research fields? So I would say that basically, first and foremost, when it comes to academia, again I will go understand your thing, understand your craft well. Now if you are entering into the research field, 100% you have to understand it. Then you have to develop soft skills like communication skills, because you have to, what you have to do is, once you do your research, you also have to present your research. Then writing skills, a very important thing. Writing is the most important part, because without publication, nobody will know that you've done some research. If you start your writing skills when you enter to your research field, then that would be more work at the same time. More than focusing on the science part, or let's say more than focusing on the research part, you'll be focusing on these soft skills more. If you have these soft skills from childhood, or let's say when you are growing up together parallelly, when you do not have much of pressure to devote for one single task, then I think that will be easier while you're doing the research. And research also has a big part of graphics into it, so graphics designing and stuff, because we have to, since you are in a research field, you have to present it. If you have to present it, you have to simplify things to the audience, who will also not understand what you're doing. Sometimes I am from a science background, I have to explain it to the sociology background people, what am I actually doing. So in that way you have to basic graphic designing skills. And if you're a science student, now the coding is the most apparent thing that you have to learn, I believe, because now everything is into modeling, and then it's easier to process things easily, simulate things. So coding, I think coding is a need of the time. So if you start developing this, learning a bit by bit, one day you will be at the top of the ladder, I would say that. One step at a time. And yes, I think you need to also learn about work life balance.
Hi, ma'am. My
I
question is, how can build young women's in uh, confidence in competitive and or dominated fields?
Pardon me, I didn't get your question.
How can young women build confidence in competitive or male
Male dominated
dominated
field.
field?
Yes, first of all, you'll have to accept that we are no less than them. Acceptance from inside, I would say that you're no less than them. Yes, might be sometimes the male dominated field where males will be more brilliant than you, does not mean that you are lesser. So intelligence is something that is, for example, I might know science, I might know geology, And you might know chemistry because you're a chemistry student. Does not mean that when I'm in a does not mean that when I'm in a geology field I'm more intelligent than you. So every individual has their own craft, and every individual has their own talent. So you need to accept them, that you accept it, that you're no less than them. And also I would say that yes, there will be things where it will be calm, where you will face the situations that you are being a woman, you will not be accepted, or you'll not be taken forward for for a position, let's say that there will be situations. But I think you should not get frustrated about that, because there are people, there are males who will also push females forward. Because had the males not being pushed females forward, then we would not have come here. So you need to find those kind of people. And yes, if you face situations like that, don't give up, I would say. Fight until you win.
I would like to ask, what really woman empowerment mean to you?
It will be contradictory to what people say it these days. For me, women empowerment is, I believe that upscaling the qualities, the feminine quality the female has. Like for example, earth is related as female, right? Then we what do the earth does, what nurture it, everything. So I think women empowerment for me would be nurturing the feminine quality inside the women, and growing the feminine quality more inside the women. And as well as I would say that women empowerment is also to psychologically change the women's mind that we are inferior to men. So at the core, I think we believe we feel that okay, we are lesser than men every time, because it's from the society. It has been put on from our ancestors, or let's say from our generations before, that we are always lesser, you're always lesser, you're always lesser. So until unless you break the chain, you break the phenomenon that okay, no, we are no less. So there are certain things, like when it comes to physical activity or physical strength. Yes, males are ahead of us, because yes, because of the testosterone hormone, not nothing else, nothing else. So I believe finally I would like to conclude: women empowerment is giving the equal opportunity, yes, but at the core, accepting we are no less than male. And and also I believe women empowerment is building a society where no girl child and a boy child uh, are separated, to have an equal opportunity to build a society. Ultimately, the children are the ones who is the one who will be living in the society and growing up in the society. So if the girl child and a boy child have equal opportunities, as well as the elderly, like 70 years elderly, will have an equal opportunity to do things, that would be the women empowerment for me.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am,
you.
for spending your valuable time with us. This section was really very useful, inspiring, and motivation to us. Once again, grateful thank.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to interact with you girls. I was in fact very happy to see a lot of females coming towards, like we generally hear that females are lesser in education, but when I saw a lot of females here, I was really absolutely very thrilled to see everybody here, and do it, continue it. And I think that with our education is the only master tool that you can bring into your world, and then you get educated, you you make others educated. So that's how only we can change the society, and that's how only we can bring peace in the world. I believe education is the only way.